Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, we are live right now, live from the village right now. It is 8 minutes past 8 p.m. right now. It is the 28th of the 8th, 2023 right now. So a lot of 8s today. 8 past 8, 28:08. Some 2s in there as well, but you know, some 2s, some 0s, some 3s. But hey, a lot of 8s, a lot of 8s. Anyway, it is Monday, which is movie night. We're about to watch Heavy Metal, the animated movie from 1981. It is 1 hour and 30 minutes long. I am watching this on Amazon, where you could either buy or rent it. It's available on some other services to buy or rent. If you have it on DVD, if you have it on Blu-ray or whatever you got it on, get it ready on 0. If you don't have it, and if you don't want to get it, it's all good. You can still come along and have some fun. But yeah, this is it's described as an adult animation. Well, we'll see what that means. But let me read the blurb real quick. An orb from outer space spreads destruction throughout the galaxy. The soundtrack features the music of Black Sabbath, Blue Oyster Cult, and Cheap Trick. It doesn't say too much about the movie, but it is called Heavy Metal. So, anyway, let me switch over this screen and just touch for just a little bit. But yeah, get it ready on 0 and I'll let you know when to press play. If you have it, if you want to watch along, but if you don't, it's all good. But yeah, it is Monday movie night. So today, my day's been pretty yeah. All right. What's happened today? So I finished watching season 4 of The Walking Dead. So by the way, for those who might not know, I have watched them before up until about season 7, 8, 9. I really don't remember, it's a long time ago, but somewhere around 7, 8 or 9 is what I watched up to before. And I've been meaning to watch the rest of them, but this was back before they were on streaming services, so they were, you know, waiting for them to come out on TV, but then you didn't have that service by the time it comes out, and then it's over and this, you gotta wait, and then it's all got messed up, and then I ended up just like not seeing it for a long time and end up forgetting about it. So I decided, you know, they're all on Disney Plus right now, so let me just start again and watch them again. And yeah, watched up to end of season 4 right now, where they go to Terminus. And I won't say too much because I don't want to give out spoilers here, just in case anybody's watching that hasn't seen that and might want to watch it. But yeah, that's where I'm right now. And here's what I'd say of my general observations of the show. There's a lot of times where Rick hands somebody a gun. Like, he is forever handing somebody a gun. And he does it in almost the exact same way each and every time. And I guess that's deliberate because, you know, he's a cop and he's supposed to be trained in firearms and, of course, gun safety and how you hand someone the gun in a particular way. So it makes sense. I'm not knocking it, but it does make sense. And I assume I ain't gun trained, so I wouldn't know. But I assume the way he hands people guns is the safest way to do it, because he does it in a very particular way where he kind of holds the back end, the handle towards them, but it's kind of tilted slightly, and it has his hand kind of over the bit where the hammer of the gun is. But he is almost forever handing somebody a gun in that, I mean, not that exact way I describe, but similar sort of ways as I described, just kind of that way. You want this in here, take this, you know. He's like forever handing somebody a gun. Other thing I noticed is Daryl. Daryl is always kind of looking at people like this, you know. He's always kind of standing to the side and kind of looking this way as he's talking to you, and he's like, he kind of walks up to you, you know, that kind of thing. He's always like kind of looking to the side, you know. Hey, I ain't had nobody take care of, you know. that's Daryl. And what else have I noticed? Maggie seems to care way more about Glenn than she does about her own sister. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Like, Maggie seems to care way more about Glenn than she does her own sister. What up, Sam? Sounds like a bit of Rick hating. I can't have that. He's sexy. No, 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 no Rick hating, no Rick hating. It's just something that I've noticed. Just something that I've noticed. Like to be honest, like it's probably not. It's not a bad thing that he does that because, like I say, I assume that's the safe way to hand somebody a gun. I assume. I don't know, but it's just something that I noticed that he is forever handing somebody a gun. He does it in almost the exact same way every single time, So it's probably down to his police training or something like that, with firearms training and gun safety training, that whole thing. That's what I'm assuming it's down to. But yeah, he is like, I mean, throughout the 4 seasons so far, he's probably offered or handed somebody a gun, or at least offered to hand somebody a gun, I don't know, at least 100 times at this point. Like it's almost like, yeah, he's always handing somebody a gun. It's like, all right, here, do you want this? Take this. Take this. You should have this. No, Rick hating. Not since, I tell you what the Rick hating was in the first 2 seasons. That's when it was all Rick hating. Season 1 and season 2, definitely Rick hating. After that, he kind of chills out a bit. Like I think by pretty much season 3, but certainly by the end of season 3, like sort of midway towards the end of season 3, I feel like Rick's become a much better character. He's kind of learned his lesson. He's not as much of an arsehole anymore. You know what I mean? Like I feel like by the end of season 3, like he's definitely a much better character. It's not as much as not like that. Season 1 and 2, he was all an arsehole though. Like he was such an arsehole in seasons 1 and 2. But yeah, season 3 onwards, especially by the end of season 3, yeah, he's a better character. Sometimes he's an ass, but he is good looking. It's fine. He's an ass, but he's a good looking ass. Well, if you're gonna be an ass, you may as well be a handsome one. You may as well. Here's something else I noticed about Walking Dead actually. A lot of the actors, I don't know how many exactly, but a lot of the actors put on an accent to play their characters, which I guess is not uncommon for TV shows and movies. They usually do different voices and stuff like that. But a lot of them speak with accents that are like wildly different to how they would normally talk. Like Rick, for example, that is no way near his normal speaking voice. Like the actor Andrew Lincoln, the way he speaks in real life, nothing like that. At all. Like he's British for one thing, so like he speaks nothing like that. I think the girl who plays Maggie, she's put on an accent. I haven't heard her proper speaking voice yet. Maybe it's not as much while, but I did see that she's like a British actress as well, like a British American actress as well. So I'm pretty sure that's not her normal speaking accent, but I haven't found where she's speaking normally yet. There's probably some videos somewhere. I just haven't seen it. Who else? The guy who played the governor, Neil something or David something. I think it was David Morrissey. I think it is. It's not Neil Morrissey. It was David Morrissey. I think Neil Morrissey was the dude from Men Behaving Badly. I think it's David Morrissey. But yeah, that guy, nothing like that. Another British actor as well. Did Herschel break your heart? Oh, Herschel was sad, man. Like, yeah, so because Herschel's one of the good guys. Like, I feel like in that show, most of the characters aren't, good guys, which is understandable. They're in a world that does not support being a good person. Like, the good people get killed. You know what I mean? But Herschel was the guy who, I feel like he's a lot of the reasons why Rick isn't such an arsehole. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it is down to Herschel and his guidance and the way he would speak to Rick and kind of give him advice without being this arrogant, over, you know what I mean? Like he spoke to people in such a way with like respect, and the way he kind of like helped people without making them feel stupid or putting them down. Like Herschel was that guy. And even though, okay, in the beginning he didn't fully understand the whole Walker situation, that's kind of forgivable because he's on a farm, he's not seeing all the news, so he just thought they were sick. And even then he kept the Walkers away from the people. He wasn't just letting them run around. So yeah, by the time you know the governor gets to him, yeah, now that was sad. That was sad, man. But that was a classic scene, though, isn't it? Where the governor's just looking at Rick and he's like, liar. Oof. Oh, Herschel, man, Herschel. But the bit where towards the end of season 4 with Lizzie and Carol, mate. Mate, even the first time I watched that bit, it was like, oh. Then watching it again, it's like knowing that it's coming, it's like, oh man. What do you think? Do you think Carol made the right choice? I cried my little black heart with Herschel there. Because he was, like I say, he was such a good guy though. Like he was really that guy that was helping people. You know, he was like almost like a counselor in a lot of respects, like almost like a therapist. You know, he wasn't trying to, you know, be the leader or take over and do things my way. You know, he respected that he's not in charge, but at the same time, he's coming with a wisdom. And even though he doesn't know everything, but he knows about family, he knows about, you know, raising children. You know, he knows about making mistakes. You know, and so when he's seeing Rick do some of those things and going down that same lines, he's very much the one that's talking to him. He's not afraid to step up and talk to him. And yeah, so yeah, Herschel was a good guy, man. But mate, oof. Yo, what up, Dan? Belgian Dan, the man. How you doing, sir? Yeah, I think Cal did the right thing. That kid was all the way off. There is no help in that world, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like, she did. That's the thing. She did do the right thing, but like, man, how hard must that be? Like, imagine that in real life. Like having, because I mean, how old was Lizzie supposed to be? I don't think they say her age, but I guess she looks around sort of early teens, maybe that kind of age, like 12, 13, I think. Um, but yeah, she was so far gone in her mental state, and it's not like you can take her to a therapist to get it sorted. You know, that's not part of it. And then what she did to her sister, and possibly could have done to Judith, the baby, and it's just like, how can you be around that person knowing that they might try and stab you in your sleep because they think, oh, you're gonna come back and it'd be fine. You know what I mean? Like, how can you fall asleep around it? It's like Carol was right. She can't be around other people. You know, she can't be around other people. But that is so, mate. Like, imagine having to be the one to do that though. Like, I don't know if I could. Like, I agree. Like, Carol did the right thing in that situation. But if I was in that situation, I don't know if I could. You know, like, I don't know if I could actually do that. Like, mate. That's something, man. That's something. You know, it's messed up indeed. Hey, that's something that how y'all doing? I hope you're enjoying the long weekend. Just being watching y'all serious on the video. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Always good to see you love on the channel. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, little talk about health on that video I just posted. Talk about health, calories, and water. But yeah, thanks for checking it out. Hopefully you got something from that. Cal did it out of love, yeah. Yeah, she was crying the whole time. Then she confessed to Tyrese about what she did to Karen and David. And Tyrese, man, boy, that's a man right there. Because how many people would have like just raged out and, you know, tried to strangle her or something? Yo, what up, Brax? Would have just raged out and maybe beat her or smack her around or throw her out or whatever. How many people that did that? He took a breath and looked at how angry, and took out in case of how angry he was, and just like breathed out and was like, I forgive you. Like, mate, like, how much strength do you need to do that, to be able to forgive somebody? That's not easy, especially when you know, they killed somebody that you loved. They killed two people that you loved, and even though it's like I mean, of course, he understands why she did it. He knows she didn't do it out of like malice or whatever. It was to protect people. But that doesn't make it easy to accept. You know, that's still two people you loved, or one person you loved in particular that's been killed. And the fact that it was done for that reason, even though you could understand it, doesn't mean that it's, oh, that's all okay now. Like, that's still a lot to process. And but yeah, when she confessed and just said, look, do whatever you have to do, and he just took that breath and he was like, I forgive you. Oh, mate, Tyrese is one of a dude, yeah. No, for sure. I think I remember what happens to Tyrese. Like I said, I watched up to about season 7, somewhere between 7, 8, and 9, I'm sure. As well, I watched up to originally, somewhere between 7, 8, and 9. So I think I remember what happens to Tyrese. I definitely remember what happens to Sasha. That was a very memorable scene. But I think I remember what happens to Tyrese. But yeah, we'll get to that eventually, I suppose. I shipped Karen. Okay. I mean, older woman, younger man. Stranger things have happened in a world where there's other options. So I'm just saying, in a world where there's not so many options, it could happen. I thought at one time they were going to do Carol and Daryl at one point. Like, it looked like they were going along that route. Like they were going to do Carol and Daryl. That would have worked. That could have been fun. Carol and Daryl. And she did fancy him, I think, at one time, because she was talking about you want to fool around. Even though she said it in a kind of jokey way, and she would say things like, "Because remember, I liked you first." You know, she was saying it in kind of a jokey way, but I don't know. Like maybe there was a little bit of truth to that. Maybe there was a little bit of truth to that. Carol and Daryl. She'll see right, you know. That was alright. Good weekend, awesome. It's carnival this weekend actually. Yesterday and today it's carnival in London. Um, since none of you in the chat right now are in London, or I don't know, Ben, I think you might be in London. Or near London, but did anybody, well, I guess you're not at Carnival now if you're watching the stream, but did you anyone go yesterday? Did you go yesterday to Carnival, or did you go today for a little bit and come back to watch the stream? I didn't go. I like Carnival, it's cool, but it's just not, I mean, I like it and I don't like it. Let me explain. I think it's a cool thing to do. I'm glad that it's something that happens, because it's a cool event, and it is kind of fun. But I think, to me, honestly, for me, it's just not my scene. You know, it's not for me. Like, especially now, I feel like I'm older than the age, older than the ideal age. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's definitely older people who still go and they have a great time, and that's good for them. But yeah, a lot of the crowd is like sort of 20s to 30, that kind of age, and I'm like, you know, you guys have your fun. You guys have your fun. I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, it's a cool event, but it's not really for me. So I generally just pass. Never say never. I've been a few times before. I may go again, but yeah, it's not something I typically do. But yeah, no, I did hear about Bray Wyatt. Yeah, rest in peace, man. Apparently it was a heart attack, which is crazy at 36, man. But yeah, rest in peace of Bray Wyatt indeed. All right, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Let's move over to this screen. Let's get this ready on 0. Hope you're ready on 0 already. I'm ready on 0 now. So I'm ready on 0. Hopefully you're ready on 0, because we're about to go 3, 2, 1, play. And in 3, 2, 1, play. Heavy metal is face melting fun. Ooh, that does sound good. I like the sound of that indeed. Indeed. I think it was flirtatious humor. Yeah. Yeah, well, for sure. And I've done that a few times with girls that I'm not necessarily fully interested in like that. But, you know, you can have a little bit of fun and whatever. That being said, if you're flirting with somebody, even if you're not necessarily fancying them, if you're flirting with somebody, if the opportunity arises, it could be more than just flirting. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You're not necessarily looking for that, right? You're not necessarily trying to pursue it, but if the opportunity presents itself, it could be just more than just flirting. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I think she was saying no to Daryl though. Nah, probably not. But then would Daryl ask? There's a lot of directions it can go into. No, for sure, for sure. Alright, here's a question for the group. Would you consider your partner flirting with somebody cheating? Like, if your partner is flirting with a member of the opposite sex, would you consider that cheating? Oh, Eugene Levy's in this movie. Or would you consider it just a little bit of harmless fun? Nothing to worry about. I feel like it would depend entirely on the situation. Like, I don't think every case of flirting is exactly the same. You know, I would say in general though, like just very generally speaking, it's no big deal. Like if your partner's flirting with some guy, most cases I feel like it's probably no big deal, right? You know, maybe just having a little fun, having a little joke. But if they're flirting with somebody like hard and maybe a lot, and especially when they're flirting when it gets very touchy, it's kind of like then it might be like maybe So yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it. I don't think flirting in and of itself is much too much to worry about, but maybe depending on certain specifics, you might want to. This guy's right there driving a car in space in a spacesuit. So what do you guys think? Is flirting cheating? A little bit of harmless fun? Or potentially both? Depends on the context and how she's flirting, non-verbal communicating. Yeah. Yeah, maybe he's like giving him the eyes, you know, giving him the eyes, giving him them looks, giving him them little subtle winks, that lip biting. Maybe she's gazing at him just a little bit too long. Right, not even hello, you know, just what did you bring me? Why does this girl look like an animated doll though? Like, she looks like an animated toy. This is 1981. Yeah, so what you mean about face melting fun, Dan? Literally. So apart from Dan, has anybody else seen this movie before? Heavy Metal from 1981. Professor discovers ancient relic, the Lochnar, and the Metropolitan. Well, I don't think the cab's free, but it's available. How about Heavy Metal 2000? Okay, I don't even know that existed. You've seen that as well, Dan? Raw. That's a good idea. It's a follow-up to that. Oh, okay. So we're gonna have to watch that at some point then to complete the duology. The biology, because there's two of them. So biology, maybe. What's it called when there's two movies? Because 3 movies is a trilogy. What's 2 movies called? A biology or twilogy? I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, trilogy. Yeah, there's been a few times where somebody's fallen asleep in the back of my cab, and the thing is, like, you can't touch them to wake them up, so you can't like push them or anything like that. You can't touch them at all. So you gotta like try and talk loudly, and that doesn't always work. And maybe try turning the music up, and that doesn't always work. And you could be there a while going, hey, hey, you know. $20, you know. All right. Illegal aliens. That's clever. Imagine the cops charging you $1,000 a day to do their jobs, like to investigate things. Like, wait a minute. Alright, this guy's a gentleman. Doing try nothing. Yeah. That's bait. Them cops are corrupt. Kingpin looking guy. Put a cigarette on his car seat like raw. A cigar. Oh, see, it's called a Dilogy, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay. A Dilogy. No wonder they always make free movies. Dilogy sounds like it's related something to it with a dildo. I was like, yeah, let's just make the third one. But they run out of ideas by the time the third one comes along. But it's like, At least we can call it a trilogy. At least we can call it a trilogy. Oh, you just say dildo. We got 2 dildos. That girl's loose, I ain't gonna lie. That girl's loose. I ain't judging, just saying. Double decker for double the viewing pleasure. It don't like you. You paid all that money for it, just for it to kill him. Well, that sucks. You mean we? That's what we're rich. Maybe she's not so loose after all. She's smart. Or maybe he's smarter. Suddenly, lower vision, yeah. Tip. Imagine paying like a lot of money for something and that thing you buy just kills you right away. Like, yo. That voice sounds like James Earl Jones a little bit. No worries, all good. You'll definitely recognize some of the voices. Oh wait, was that James? Was that James Earl Jones then? I mean, it's 1981, so it very well could be, because this would have been a few years after Star Wars. And of course, no Darth Vader. Oh, right, you see. Looks for a naked woman. Is that river? No. It's an interesting film so far. There's like multiple stories being told about this same kind of Lochnar spherical green thing. Beautiful eyes. Okay. Raw. Man, whoever wrote this movie, whoever wrote this movie is pure fantasy. Mate, whoever wrote this movie. Oh. Okay, I'm just getting some error messages popping up. Hopefully you guys are still receiving the stream okay. Should hopefully be okay now. Got some special stories there, no, for sure, for sure. It's okay, just blurry. Okay. Okay. I think my microphone's on. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, my microphone is on, isn't it? It's a bit odd. Looks off, but I think it is actually on. You can hear. Can you hear me, by the way? I think you can. You can hear me, right? Oh, excuse me. Everything looking odd now. Okay, cool, good. Things look a little weird on my end, but as long as the things are, as long as all coming through okay. Hey, fine. Also, for some reason, stream keeps going to a 144p. Yeah, I don't know what caused that. I did see something on my end about some kind of congestion or something, so that might have been that. Hopefully, it's gone now, because it should be coming through on a good resolution now. It should be coming through at a maximum of 1080p resolution. Probably solved to me. Bruh. This movie though. You know what? I'm gonna guess that this movie was written by a virgin. And I ain't trying to shame nobody. I ain't like that. I ain't trying to be like that. But I'm guessing this movie was written by a virgin, because someone who's been a virgin for a long time. I ain't trying to shame nobody. It is what it is. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying. This movie was released before Fred was born. Well, we assume. I mean, don't really know how old he is, so I'm just saying. But I don't think Fred wrote this. There's not enough focus on the feet. I think if Fred wrote this, there'd be a heavy focus on feet. So that kind of rules that out, really. And by the way, the resolution might be dropping again. Hopefully, it picks up again soon. Picks back up. You gotta save the girl. Imagine if he is actually a massive player. He could be, you know. Could be. Fred out here getting big, yeah. Fred just snatched a girl off your arm. He's that guy. You think he got a girl? Nah, it's Fred's girl now. Forget it. So I'm gonna come back to Evan who reverts back to a skinny 18-year-old or something. I guess he's not going back home. Not enough feet screen time unless Sam likes it. I think. Yeah, more feet. More feet equal higher score. I am. Raw. Man's been a bad boy. Oh, this guy's been bad. Hand over fist. Man. Somebody having fun with that name. What was the end of the scale? 10, totally awesome, amazing features. This movie touched my soul. I like the puns. I like the puns. Oh, it's cracking. No, he's been bad. Tim would read again. And been recently as a same with LJ. LJ was, I think, in the last stream. I think Fred came in towards the end of the last stream, if I remember correctly. and there's no neck, big body builder guy. Oh. Oh man. Oh man. Let's bust through it. With his head. But it might be in hiding as it's almost the end of August, so for sure he probably hasn't watched Masters yet, or Scream, or anything else that he's supposed to watch. Hasn't done his homework, man. Even halfway through the movie, I could see you struggling tonight. Yeah, I guess that tiredness to kind of catch up a little bit. It happens sometimes, it happens. But it's a short film. And yeah, one of the reasons why I do prefer to do short movies as well. Not the only reason, but amongst the reasons. So was that part of the plan to turn into that big monster thing? As to finish Ridgemay, where have you been doing a lot more walking recently? Yeah, I went for a walk today. Walked about 5 miles today, 5 and a bit miles. But yeah, still doing. Not every day. I mean, so what it comes down to is that I aim for 5,000 steps per day, but that's not necessarily just walking to places. That's to include walking around, walking around your house, walking, from your car to the shops. It includes, any steps you take counts towards your 5,000 steps. 5 miles, by the way, is way more than 5,000 steps. It's much more than that. But that's what I've been trying to do, is to have at least 5,000 steps per day. And, as a way of trying to keep active. And walking is a relatively low impact way of doing that. Whereas, if you got running, it's a bit more high impact. And I'll still go jogging, I'm not stopping, but most days you can go for a walk for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And it's just really about keeping active. But yeah, 5,000 steps is what I've been doing so far. And I do have a pedometer on my phone, which I've been using. Been using an app called Fitbits. But I don't actually have the Fitbit watch, so I'm not getting as much out of it as I could. That being said, I did just order a Fitbit watch. So that should be arriving tomorrow, and with that you can get more sort of readings on things like your heart rate, blood oxygen, and stress levels, and it monitors a bunch of stuff on the phone, on the watch, and it sends the information to your phone. But yeah, still doing it. I mean, health is wealth, right? So you gotta And like I say in that video that I put up, like you really don't have to go hard when trying to be healthy. Like you could just make small changes to your diet, small changes to your daily activities, just little things that you do, and just being mindful of what you're eating, how much you're eating, when you're eating, that sort of thing. Um, and over time, you develop a better relationship. Oh, that is nasty. His guts all hanging out. And over time, you develop a better relationship with food, because food's going to be the biggest thing, really, with any kind of health journey. Like exercise, of course, is important, but what you eat and how much you eat is going to be the biggest factor in, any kind of health thing. So yeah, developing better relationships with food is paramount. And what I found as well is that it's not really even about, you can't eat your favorite foods, like you can't eat chocolate, or you can't eat cake, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, and it's not even about it. You can pretty much eat anything you want to eat, but have a better understanding of portion sizes. Like how much can you eat now, if you and still maintain, you know, a relatively decent, a reasonable calorie intake for the day. Because like if you're not doing that and you're just eating like donuts and whatever, then you're gonna have a very high calorie intake, but your body doesn't burn it all off. So that's when you start having problems. So just once you start understanding things like your BMR and stuff, all that kind of thing, yeah, it's really just like little changes. Like you don't have to go hard with it, just make little changes that are much more sustainable, much more manageable, and over time you start seeing a difference. Good aim. I know they recommend 10,000 steps a day, but it was recently brought down to 5,000. Sounds like you're smashing it. I'm doing okay. I didn't know that was a recommendation, by the way, that 10,000. I just put it at 5,000 because I thought 5,000 was going to be too much for me. Um, I thought 5,000 was going to be too much for me, so I put it at 5,000 as a way of kind of stretching it a little bit. But it turns out, yeah, 5,000 I've been managing to do. I wouldn't say super easy, but I've been managing to do it even with driving all day, because I do park places, and of course you walk from your car to the shop, and that all counts towards your steps. But yeah, I will say most days I've been managing to do it within my normal kind of walking. So yeah, maybe I do need to increase the steps a little bit and try and push myself just a little bit. Maybe. Do you have a goal with your health or fitness, such as lose weight, build muscle, etc.? It's really just general fitness. I mean, there is a current goal of losing some weights, but it's not necessarily. I don't need to lose weight in that regards. I don't want to sound too arrogant, but I mean, you could probably tell I'm not a big person. I'm tall, but I am actually about 8 kilograms overweight, which is interesting. Um, and it's not so much I want to lose weight. I'm fine with how much I weigh, but I do feel like I need to reduce my body fats, because that's actually higher than it should be. And with reducing your body fat, of course, comes with losing weight as well. So it all kind of ties in a little bit. But the goal isn't strictly speaking to lose weight. It's more just to bring my body fat down to a healthier level, um, and then kind of go from there. It's not super high right now, to be fair, but it is higher than it should be. And I figured before it gets unmanageable, maybe bring it down. Maybe try and bring that down. My aim was 5k, and it's increased as time went by. Do you mean like 5k, like 5 kilometers? You don't have to cut out kebabs. You don't have to cut out anything if you don't want to. But you just understand the portions of how much you can eat, when you can eat, and maybe space things out, you know, that sort of stuff. And, the old calorie. Oh yeah, for sure. Calories in versus calories out. Yeah. From using the elevator to using the stairs. Yeah, that's another thing. Even things like standing. So the thing about calories in versus calories out is that your body burns calories naturally, right? Just in your normal daily existence, while you're sleeping, while you're awake, you will naturally burn calories just anyway. Um, your BMR lets you know how much calories you burn in a day. Younger people typically would naturally burn more calories in a day than older people. But of course, there's things you can do to increase the amount of calories you burn, like things like exercise and so on. But once you know what your BMR is, that's your basal metabolic rate. Once you know what that is, you don't necessarily need to start exercising more. You know, you could just start looking at the foods you eat. Oh, this guy just went mad, ravishing over the orb. Yeah, once you know your BMR, you could just start looking at the foods you eat and be like, okay, I can maybe cut this down, or I can maybe have less of this. I can space this out a little bit and bring the total calorie intake in your day to less than what your BMR is, and trying to go from there. And maybe if you do have like a cake or something, be like, okay, let me just go for a walk a little bit just to keep the calories in versus calories out at a reasonable level. But you do that, and yeah, small changes over a period of time makes a big difference. You don't look overweight, no, for sure. I mean, I think because I'm wearing black, it's black. Black makes you look slim in it. Black makes you look slim. That's why I'm always wearing black. Makes you look thin. I'm actually bigger than Yokozuna. No, I'm not. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you can't see it, but I do actually have a lot of fat around my stomach area. Well, not a lot. That's a lie. It's not a lot, but I do have a quite a bit of in the belly. I've got a six pack in the fridge. Yeah, that's the one. I've got a six pack. It's just underneath all this fat. I've got a body of a god. It's a shame it's Buddha. Buddha belly. But if you rub your belly, can you wish for things? Or does it only work if other people rub your belly? I'm almost all that and slimming now. Then when I was younger, yeah. So I'm just trying to catch up with Dan. Dan's been on it for a minute. I'm just trying to catch up. But I mean, in all honesty, I've maybe not always, but I guess for a long time I've tried to be healthy and exercise and that kind of thing. But it just more recent weeks, I guess what's changed. Oh, they're just gonna snort that coke. In recent weeks, what's changed is that I've tried to develop just a better relationship with food, because I'm the type of person who likes snacks a lot. I would just go eat because I feel like it, and then you're eating crisps. Like you might be going to the gym, going jogging, blah blah blah, but I'm eating crisps. I'm just like, you know, eating whatever, and then not really paying attention, having, you know, two sandwiches. You know what I mean? I'm just not really paying much attention. So in more recent weeks, I've just been like, okay, let me actually pay attention to what I'm eating and when I'm eating. And the Fitbit app is pretty cool. I say the Fitbit. It doesn't have to be Fitbit, by the way. There's loads of apps you can get, but the Fitbit app, I will say that I've so far found pretty useful, because you're able to track things like what you're eating, how much water you're drinking, and you know, that sort of thing. I try and keep to a plan of, okay, I've eaten this much, that's giving me this. let me not go too far over, and it will let you know if you're reaching your daily limit or if you're within a good, you know, all that sort of stuff. Did you just decide to start one day, or did you choose a day to start on? Yeah, I mean, been doing it for a while, but yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't just, well, I guess with the food stuff and paying more attention to my food, that's happened I think about a week ago or a little over a week ago. Um, but yeah, I guess for me it's just because, you know, I've been going to the gym, I go jogging, and then you do it for a while, you start to think, you know what else can I be doing? And then it kind of comes from there, right? You start one place, you end up in another. Water a day, but what you might not know is that you don't have to actually drink 2 liters of water a day, um, because a lot of water we consume can come from foods like fruits, vegetables, and that sort of thing. I don't know if you've ever tried drinking 2 liters of water in a day, but it's a lot of water to drink in a day. Like your bladder will hate you trying to drink that much water in a day. Like even if you're spacing it out throughout the day, it's a lot of water to drink in a day. But yeah, you don't actually have to drink 2 liters of water. You just need to understand that like certain foods will have more water in them, like fruits, vegetables, for example, have more water in them. Some other foods don't have as much water, like toast, for example. But you could probably be fine with drinking, say, 1 liter of actual water, and the rest of it can come from your foods. Like 1 liter, maybe 1.2 liters, and the rest of it can come from your foods. You know, as long as you're eating reasonable, again, understand what you're eating, having things like fruit. If you're having a sandwich, make sure there's some, you know, salad, some lettuce in there, things like that. But yeah, you'd be peeing a lot. You'd be peeing a lot. Oh, he's gonna kill the girl. I tend to do pick comparisons and look at what I need to improve on. Or do you mean like take a picture of yourself, like now and then, or then and now rather? You should drink 4 liters a day raw. You must have had to carry a bottle around with you just to piss in, like, or a bucket or something, mate. You must have had been like, you know, let me just leave this bucket at my desk. You have 2 buckets at your desk. Dan's at the office and doing his work at the office. Everyone's walking by. What's that smell? What's that smell? Dan's got 2 buckets of piss at his desk. And so, oh, it just saves time. 4 liters, mate. I was trying to do 2 liters a day recently, and I was pissing so much, man. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I found out that you don't actually have to drink 2 liters. You can get water from foods and other things, and so yeah. My target now, my aim now, is to drink 1 liter of water, like as in 1 liter of actual water a day, which is much more manageable than trying to do 2 liters. But yeah, it's good to drink water because water helps with like your joints, helps carry nutrients around your body. So it is important to drink water, but you don't necessarily have to drink that much water. And remember, your body is like 60-70% water anyway, so water is important, especially if it's a sunny day. You might want to drink more. If you're exercising, you might want to drink some more, things like that. Stay hydrated, that's important. Do you find it helps for keeping yourself accountable? Yeah, definitely. I appreciate not everybody needs that, but I find it helpful to have something that just kind of lets you know where you're like, okay, cool. I've already done 1 liter of water for the day, so I'm good with that. I've consumed 1,680 calories so far today, but I've burned 2,690 because that's mainly because I went for a walk earlier. So my burn, I've burned more calories than I've consumed by about 900 or so calories. I've burned about 900 calories more than I've consumed today, so I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I can still eat some stuff and still be within a good calorie in versus calorie out range. Mentally, if I had a bad day, still me and poorly training. And also, by the way, this is another thing that's that it helps with. On days where you're not exercising, it's actually even more important to eat health. I say eat healthy. I use that term loosely, but it's more important to pay attention to what you're eating on days where you're not exercising, because those are the days where you're not going to burn as much calories. It's just be down to what your natural BMR is. So those are days really where you really need to, because days where you go to the gym or days where you go for a jog, you can maybe be a little bit cheeky sometimes because you might have burned more than you're going to consume anyway. But days where you're not being as active, that's where you really need to pay attention to what's going in. I ran to the throne often enough when I did that, or if I could imagine. I mean, I was doing it on 2 liters a day, on 4 liters. That must have been, just painful. And bear in mind, I'm a driver as well, so it's like it's not like I could just go to the toilet. You know what I mean? when you drive for a living, you can't just go to the toilet like that. It's like, no, I gotta hold it till I could park somewhere or drop this customer off, and then mate, it was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm glad I don't have to do that. I'm glad I don't have to do that. I thought I did, but I don't. And I'm like, whew, good. It was not going to work. Just in the training to the schedule helps. Yeah. To start off well, that I lose heart when I'm not losing as much weight as I'd like. I find myself too often with negative impact. Yeah, that's one thing as well. Don't worry too much about losing weight. Just concentrate on making small changes and doing that and building consistency. Eventually you'll start seeing changes and feeling changes. It's not going to happen overnight, but don't, or anything like that. It's not going to happen next week, or anything like that. But just concentrate on making small, sustainable changes, to whether it's to your diet or whether to your activity levels or maybe both. Because once you can do that, you can just keep going and not even worry about whether you're losing weight or not. Just you know that why you're doing it. Eventually, whether it's a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, whatever it is, eventually you'll start noticing things. But don't concentrate on that in the beginning. Just concentrate on making those small changes that are sustainable to your lifestyle. If I can give you is a focus on weight loss, but focus on getting the yeah, and then improving in doing them, even if it's in a mid. Yeah, no, indeed. because I get it, because I've kind of been there as well, where you get so focused on like trying to see things right away, and of course it doesn't happen right away, and then you get kind of discouraged and disheartened, and you end up giving up. So just don't look at it as I want to lose weight. Just look at it as I'm just improving my health. You know, you're not losing weight, you're improving health, right? So whether you weigh 10 kilograms, 100 kilograms, you know, it doesn't matter. You're not losing weight. You're gaining health. You know, think of it that way. And in order to gain health, yeah, you maybe need to drop this down a little bit, increase it up a little bit, but you're gaining health. You're not losing weight. You're gaining health. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, no, it's tough, man. Like exercising and changes and a lot of it as well. Like this is another thing that doesn't get spoken about a whole lot. And I'm not suggesting this applies to you, Ben, because then I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. But a lot of times there are deep underlying reasons why a person could be overweight. And if there are, then that really needs to be addressed first. Like, you know, so a lot of times people talk to people like, oh, you're just this, you're just that, you're not exercising enough, you're just lazy or whatever. You need to put down the burgers and pick up the gym membership. You know, like people talk like it's just this simple thing. And on a very basic level, it is a simple thing, carries in versus carries out. But before you can get there, you have to address the reason why your calories went up in the first place. And that's not always down to just not knowing that you shouldn't eat burgers every day. Like it's not, most people know that, right? Most people understand that. So there's another reason why it keeps happening. And that really needs to be addressed first. And then you can make, well, then you find it easier, I should say, to make the other changes. Wise words. Well, you know, I have my moments every now and then. Oh yeah, never compare yourself. Never compare yourself. And I get it. I've done that. I'm sure we've all done that at some point. It's a very easy thing to do, but yeah, never compare yourself, because it's not about how you rank against other people. It's about being the best version of yourself that you can be. As long as you know you're getting better, whether it's a little bit, whether it's a tiny little bit, as long as you know that you're getting better and you're making good choices for yourself, then you're doing okay. I can have a comfort eating. And by the way, comfort eating, by the way, isn't. I don't even think comfort eating is a bad thing, because there's a reason why certain foods make you feel good, right? And I don't think we should ignore that. You know, we shouldn't ignore that. Like, burgers can make you feel good. Fried chicken can make you feel good. You know what I mean? Ice cream can make you feel good. You know, and there's reason for that. And I don't think we should just like cut these things out of your diet like completely, because you still need to feel good. You know what I mean? You still need to feel good. And if a burger does that, have a burger. But know that when you have a burger, that's this many calories or whatever it is, and maybe don't have two burgers, and you know, or maybe walk home. You know what I mean? Or next time you have a burger, it'd be next week, or you know, a couple of weeks from now, or something like that. So I really don't think it's about cutting things out. It's just maybe spreading things out a bit more, because really what I think it is that there's no such thing as unhealthy foods, just unhealthy habits. And I think when you can understand that, it's less about, oh, I can't have ice cream, I can't have this, and I can't have this. You can have anything you want, but you shouldn't have certain things all the time, or a lot of them. You know, you can eat a burger, but yeah, just not every day. You know, balance it out with other foods. Like if you have a high calorie meal, you know, have lower calorie meals for the next, you know, few days or something. Go on a few walks here and there. Or I'll say standing. Yeah, standing would help you burn a few extra calories. Like put a movie on and just stand and watch it. Or check out my podcast and, you know, stand and listen to my podcast. Or listen to my podcast while going for a walk. I'm just saying. I'm here to help, man. I'm here to help. Have myself a burger, not 10 burgers. Mate, I've been there. Back in school, when I was in school, I used to eat kebabs almost every day. There was a period of time I was eating kebabs nearly every day. But this was at a time when, of course, you're young, you're pretty fit, right? You've got a high metabolism, and I think my metabolism is probably higher than normal, higher than most people's at the time as well. So I was eating like kebabs, chips, burgers, pretty much like every day, and I wasn't, you know, gaining anything. And don't get me wrong, I guess I've always had like a kind of like a tiny little belly. That's always been there, but I wasn't getting like mad big or anything like that. But yeah, you can't do that as you get older because your metabolism ain't the same when you're young. When you're fire, you know, when you're 14, your metabolism is fire. But when you're 40, not so much. Not so much. Not so much. When you're 14, you could just eat everything, literally everything. It's not a problem. But when you're 40, not so much. Can't really do that no more. Not a good idea no more. Hey, I gotta plug my podcast. Comfort food, yeah. But I have recently kind of set myself a kind of a, I guess a kind of a goal. I'm not sure what you call it, but I've decided that I'm not gonna have another cheat day, like a proper cheat day, for at least a couple of months. So for at least a couple of months, I'm gonna be good. That's the plan, to be good for at least a couple of months. Then have me a wicked cheat day, then go back to being good. So you know, we're end of August now. So what's that? Maybe October. Towards the end of October. That's the plan, to have me a wicked cheat day towards the end of October. Like, I'm talking about a day, by the way, not a meal, a day. A day. But yeah, do that and go back to being good. And then another couple of months, have me a wicked cheat day again. And yeah, say about every 2-3 months. That's the way I'm thinking right now. About every 2-3 months, have me a wicked cheat day, and in the meantime, be good. I gotta earn it. You know what I mean? I gotta earn it. But even when being good, like I say, you can still have like cakes or whatever. You can still have, you know, stuff like that if you want to, but just reasonable amounts. Reasonable amounts. Just clocked him out. Yeah, make your reward, exactly. Exactly, that's the plan. I watched the video and it was saying about if we have an end goal, it makes the journey more miserable while doing a task. such as weight loss, that we reward ourselves seldomly whilst doing it. Yeah, and I think that's true. I think that's true. I mean, excuse me. I ain't no scientist or whatever, and I'm sure I can't prove it, but I think that's true. It sounds true to me. Especially if your goal is like, okay, let's say, I don't know, I'm 100 kilograms now, and I want to get down to 80 kilograms. Okay, cool. So you set yourself that goal to get down to 80 kilograms. Then what? You do all the running, you eat all the right foods, you get to 80 kilograms finally, and then what? You know. So, thank you, Dan. Thank you. So yeah, I feel like it's not a bad idea to set goals. Of course, you need to have things in mind of where you want to be and kind of what you're trying to accomplish. But yeah, it shouldn't necessarily about reaching a thing, but just understanding that this is now, how do I make this sustainable for me? Because there's the type of people who just live in the gym, right? You know, they just live in the gym. They're there all the time. And if that's sustainable for them, great. But that's not everybody. Most of us ain't trying to do that. Most of us would like to do other things as well. You know, most of us would like to have a life outside of just like eating salads. So it's just, how do you make it sustainable for yourself? And the way you make it sustainable is going to be different to the way I can make it sustainable. And that's going to be different to the way Dan will make it sustainable. That's going to be different to the way the next guy makes it sustainable. But figuring out your life, your daily routines, the things you normally do, and what you can do, what you can't do, and creating a sustainable plan for yourself. Get into the habit of eating too much too frequently, because I've done that already. So this is more like, okay, let me. And I'll say it's not that I won't eat. Like I'm still gonna, in the meantime, I'm still gonna eat a cake if I want to. I can still have a burger if I want to. I'm not saying that. It's more that in the meantime, it's about being reasonable with the intake. Whereas every 2 months, every 3 months, I want to just have a wicked cheat day. So I'm still eating what I want to eat in the meantime. I can still eat chicken in the meantime. I can still eat whatever I want in the meantime, but just being reasonable with my portions, you know. And then on those days, like, forget the portions, forget counting nothing. That's what I mean. But what I don't want to get into though is this hardcore kind of calorie counting type mentality where you're literally just like counting up every single calorie you eat, and you know, I don't want to get into that kind of mentality because that's just too much for me. You know, I don't need to be more mindful about what I'm eating and things like that, but I don't want to get too hardcore into calorie counting and you know that kind of things. It's just it's too much, and it's that I think is unsustainable. Well, for me, I think it's unsustainable. It still works for me indeed. Micro goals works for me. Yeah. A long time ago, I couldn't do push-ups, so I started with wall-ups, increasing the reps over time, and then lowering myself eventually to incline push-ups, all the way to decline push-ups. As an example. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, start small, build up. It's like pull-ups where people can't do pull-ups and they just go to the top of the bar and just kind of try to lower themselves down to help build strength. And after a little while, you can go down and pull yourself back up. Exactly. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this Fitbit coming tomorrow though. Really looking forward to it. Because I did some research into like fitness bands and fitness watches, and there's so many to choose from with all their pros and cons and things like that. But the Fitbit that I ordered seemed to have, in my opinion anyway, the best combination of features and battery life. Because a lot of them seem to have a lot of features, but the battery life is trash. And then some of them they can barely do anything, but of course they got a long battery life. And this one seems to have a good combination of having a lot of features, or at least a lot of features that I'm interested in, and then still maintain having a pretty good battery life. It's not the best battery life, but it's pretty good, you know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it helps keep better track of my health and exercises and stuff like that. Small steps lead to a great journey, indeed, indeed. In fact, I'm sure you know this saying: a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. There was a girl I knew, and she was obese. She managed to lose a lot of weight, but she now focuses on nothing but health and seems a bit too obsessed with it, and has probably gone too far the other way. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. You know, you get that body, and it's like, oh, look at me now, in the gym, feel the burn, feel the burn. Yeah, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that. But if that's what works for her, then I ain't gonna knock it. But yeah, I get what you mean. People lose the weight and then just switch. And to be fair, you know, some people want to be that guy that eats nothing but salad and drinks water all day. Some people want to be that person. I don't. Imagine that, eating nothing but salads and drinking water all day, every day. Oof. What's the point? What's the point, bro? What's the point? Well, that's only my opinion. I say anyone judge her. Yeah, as it's her life and her decision. I respect that, indeed, for sure. Oh, fair thing I said happening is moves. The future person's killed him, so he's not going to be able to kill the child. Good, evil little bastard. Yeah, get away, little girl. Get away. Lao Tzu or someone, wasn't it? Yeah, I know that one, but Confucius. Chapter 64 of the Tao Beijing. No, I actually didn't know that. I knew the quote, but I didn't know that. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for enlightening me where it came from. Because I've known the quote for years, but I guess it never really occurred to me to actually look up where it came from. But appreciate that. So it's Lao Tzu, chapter 64 of the Tao Te Ching. Okay. But yeah, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Seems obvious, but sometimes the obvious things are going to be said, right? I still miss out on that quote. Origin at times. That's so good. Tarakian. Wait, weren't the Tarakians from Conan the Barbarian? Were they Tarakian or something like that? Is this the prequel to Conan? But that was heavy metal. Okay. Heavy Metal from 1981. That was an interesting film. I'll be honest, I'm not sure I got all of it. You know, I understood that it was different stories that all kind of get linked together through the Lochnar green orb thing, and as he's trying to kill the girl, and then his encounter. I think it was his interactions with people in the future, what happened, but ended up killing him in the past, or something like that. I think that's what happened. I might have misunderstood it a little bit. I'm sure I did. Um, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't catch all the stories. I kind of missed some, but the ones I did see, you know, they had their as Dan would say, interesting themes to them. Um, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Might be something I need to watch offline and try and absorb more of it that way. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I enjoyed that for what I caught of it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it too, if you were watching along or if you've seen it before. But yeah, let me switch over to this screen now and just chat to y'all for a little bit. I did not recognize John Candy's voice actually. I don't think I've heard John Candy speak for a long time, so I don't think I'd recognize his voice right away. But John Candy's in this. Okay, that's cool. I found out the real origin. John Candy. Speaking of sweets. But yeah, that was an interesting one. The Lochnar orb and its evil origins, and no one escapes his grasp except those that do. Yeah, so I'm gonna with him and then watch this again. Yeah, found something and watch this, you'll recognize it then. Yeah, John Candy though, man, rest in peace, John Candy. He was he's been in some great movies, I'm sure you know, but Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a fantastic film. I think his last movie was Cool Runnings, I believe. Let me just double check that. Well, actually, no. His last movie was Canadian Bacon. But Cool Runnings was amongst his last movies. It was like maybe it's the fourth. But I think what happened, if I remember correctly, because Cool Runnings was released in 1993. He passed away in 1994. So yeah, it would have been just after, or not long after, Cool Runnings was released, and then the other films I guess they were released after he passed away. Jamaican Bro City, yeah, that's the one. Loosely based on a true story, very loosely based on a true story. Like loosely based on a true story. Cool Runnings, Haze, not that film. Yeah, no, I've seen it. I've seen it. I saw it years ago. Came on TV. It's a good film. Historically inaccurate, but it's a good film. Yes, that's right. Home Alone, yeah. Wait, was he in Home Alone? I mean, actually, it wasn't Home Alone, wasn't he? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was in Home Alone. Yeah. Gus Polinski. Oh, he was Den. He was the guy who played Den. Okay. He must have done something to his voice. Or was he like the little man Den, not the big man Den? Uncle Buck, yeah. What will you be doing? Home Alone 2 for movie Mondays in December. Possibly. Possibly. I mean, I won't commit to it now, but possibly. Even though they're not Christmas movies, but possibly. Possibly. Yeah. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and neither is Home Alone. But possibly. And maybe we'll watch Die Hard and Home Alone, so I can show you guys once and for all that neither of those are actual Christmas movies. They're just movies that happen to be set at Christmas, and there is a difference. There is a difference. There are Christmas movies, and there are movies that just happen to be set at Christmas. Those movies just happen to be set around Christmas time, but they are not Christmas movies. There is a difference. There's a difference. And it was reportedly paid only $414 for his cameo in Home Alone. Really? To be honest, I've heard of actors taking like really low paychecks for certain movies, and I guess it's kind of a thing with actors where they've already earned so much money and they just really want to do a movie, and they're like, you know what, I'll take a low pay, cause it doesn't really matter to them at that point. You know what I mean? They don't need to make $1 million every movie, because they've got plenty of money already. So every now and then they're like, you know what, I'll take a low pay. I've heard of some actors, like some big actors, doing that, and it's a kind of a cool thing, I think. When actors be like, yeah, I'll do it for $1. You know what I mean? Because they're not struggling, right? They're not struggling, so it's like, yeah, I'll do it for $1. It could be a cool story. Tell everybody I only got paid $1 for this film, way below the minimum wage. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Okay, so it wasn't James L. Jones, by the way. It's a guy called Percy Rodriguez who voiced Lochnar. I don't know who Percy Rodriguez is, but big up for the voice. And rest in peace. He passed away in 2007 at the age of 89. I've been delirious as well. Also, he wished his family gone and regretted the wish. So in the end, he learned how important his family is to him when they were reunited, making it something that sounds like a Christmas miracle. Oh, in Home Alone. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see your point. I can see your point. I can see your point. I'm still a hold off on whether it's a Christmas movie or not from until maybe I'll get a chance to watch it again properly. But I see your point, Dan. I see your point. I see your point. That's fair. That's fair. But then again, it sets at Christmas, so Christmas miracles, even though it's not a Christmas movie. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll watch it and we'll see. Make a decision once and for all. He filmed his part in only a day, albeit a 23-hour day. $400 for 23 hours worth of work. I've done worse. I've done worse. It's all good. People I can think of was Robin Williams, but in the Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Okay, what did he get paid for that? Like two pennies or something. Is it a Christmas movie? It could be. I've been thinking about that actually. Die Hard is Die Hard Christmas movie. I mean, it's not a Christmas movie, so it wouldn't even be a question. But maybe more like, this is why Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. All possibilities. Another legend, rest in peace. Yeah, indeed, indeed. Robin Williams. I want to ask AI. How much did Robin Williams get paid for the Adventures of Baron Munchausen? Let's see if AI knows. It seems to want to tell me everything but how much he got paid. Like, that is not helpful. AI is useless, man. Asks a straightforward question and it tells me everything but. Yeah, GM fool. AI. Pah. Tells me everything but what I actually asked. Okay, let's see here. It's like buried somewhere on this page that you sent me. There was that IMDb. Oosh. Here we go. Robin Williams was a last-minute casting after the budget had run out and performed his role uncredited and unpaid. Wow. Wow. And when was this movie actually? This was... 1988. So Robin Williams would have been a pretty big star at that time. Because, I mean, that would have been after... You know, Mork and Mindy, and I think, was it Good Morning Vietnam would have been out round about that time. So it wasn't like he's just some nobody unknown actor. He would have been a pretty decent name. But you know what? I think sometimes, like I say, sometimes actors just look at it like, hey, you know what? I don't need the money, and I want to do this movie, so cool, I did it for free. Also read that Robin Williams took like the minimum, was it SAG minimum pay when he did what's that film? The one where he plays the teacher. But he took what's it called? It's gonna bug me. You know, Captain, My Captain. That movie. Oh, that's gonna bug me, man. That's gonna bug me so much. But you know what I'm talking about. Where Robin Williams plays the teacher. But apparently he got paid like the SAG minimum, the Actors Guild minimum, plus a painting. Like they gave him a painting. But yeah, I guess he would do that from time to time. Just be like, you know what, Dead Poet Society. That's it. Yeah, appreciate that, Dan. Dead Poet Society. But yeah, I guess he would do it from time to time. Just take like a low pay or no pay for a film that he wants to do, and Robin Williams was one of the good ones, man. Yeah, Good Morning Vietnam. Popeye, oof. Mork and Mindy. How many people knew there was a Popeye movie? I don't know if many people actually knew that. I don't know if that movie did particularly well. It doesn't. I'm not sure many people know, but yeah, Popeye. There's a movie based on the cartoon Popeye, and Robin Williams played Popeye, and it's brilliant. I remember watching it on TV when it came on TV, and it's such a great film. I don't remember a whole lot from it right now. Great film. It's really funny, and Robin Williams was great. He was literally the perfect person to play Popeye. He really was. He really was. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna say like no other actor could have done that, because I mean there's lots of great actors in the world. Let me not discredit other actors just because you like one person. But he really was, in my opinion, just the perfect casting in that role. You know. So if you've not seen it, you definitely should. You definitely should. Mrs. Doubtfire, yeah. They've turned it into a musical, actually. I've seen it. It felt like different Popeye episodes string together in one movie. Popeye voice was spot on, yeah, man. They gave him like the prosthetic arm so he could do all the things, and they had all like. I remember one bit where he finally eats the spinach, and he has this massive fist that's coming out the sea, like this proper massive fist, just coming all the way out of the ocean. It was like, because he wouldn't eat the spinach for a long time. He was like, I don't like spinach. I never gonna eat spinach. He never eat it. Never want to eat it. When he finally eats it, it's like, man, I need to watch that movie again. Oh, that's a great movie, man. I ain't seen it for a long time, but that was a great movie. Great range of characters. He was very good in 1 Hour Photo. 1 Hour Photo. I don't think I actually ever saw that one, you know. Or did I? But yeah, for sure, he definitely had a range of characters, from like jokey characters to serious characters to all in between, you know. Yeah. Shelley Duvall as Olive. Yeah. Man. Rest in peace to one of the greatest to ever do it, Robin Williams. Should have a Robin Williams season after Arnie. It's not a bad idea, you know. It's not a bad idea. I figure what I'd do actually, after we're done with Arnie, I think we're not too far away from the end of Arnie season actually. We've only got really a few movies to go, which, to be honest, yeah, gonna get spread out over the next few weeks or whatever, but there's not that many movies to go. So yeah, what I was thinking of doing is, like, you know, like I do like a vote, like which actor or which series. The only thing I'll do differently, though, I'd say, is I don't think I'll pick as many movies for the season next time, because I feel like I probably put too many movies. I mean, it's all agreed now, so we'll get through it. But I think I picked too many movies. What I should have done is something like Arnie movies from the 80s. You know what I mean? I just stick to that. I should have done stuff like that. That's one thing I should have done. That way we could stick to like a specific set of movies. But it's done now, so we'll continue it and get through the rest of it as promised as we can. God willing, what we can do that. But yeah, I think next time we do a movie season, it'll be like, you know what, let's just pick a section of films and just stick to that for the time being. And maybe later we could go to a different section of movies and whatever. So yeah, lesson learned, lesson learned. You know, you do and you try and lesson learned. With all the knowledge about photography, Seymour makes a living by developing photos out of a department store. A lonely man, soon he gets obsessed with a family who are regulars at his counter. Okay. Yeah, he saw them as the perfect family and envisioned himself as part of their world. Picture purpose, as they say. Ooh, that does sound interesting. Obsessed. By the way, it's The Running Man next week for movie night. The Running Man. So that's continuing Arnie season, but not many to go. So it's The Running Man, Red Heat, Twins, Total Recall, Kindergarten Cop, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero, and then True Lies is the last one. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I missed count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 movies. So that's about 4 months. We're going to be on Arnie for a while. We're going to be on Arnie for a while. But yeah, we'll try and get through the rest of the Arnie season, and then look at what we can do afterwards. So must see what 1 hour photos I must see. All right. Yeah, I won't put it on the movie night list, but my movies to watch offline at some point list. Jingle All the Way is not on Arnie season because we only got up to True Lies. If we ever do a Arnie season part 2, then yeah, Jingle All the Way would be in that. But for now, yeah, we're just going up to True Lies and then ending there. So yeah, not well, it was Twins. No, Twins is not there. Twins is not there. That's after True Lies. By the time Arnie season is finished, it'll be Christmas movie. Yeah. It's a while. It's a while. I didn't consider how long it could actually take to get through this many movies. So yeah, I think next time we do this, it'll be like, you know what, let's just stick to a section of films. Let's just pick a section of films, Stick to that. Like a decade, maybe like 80s films from Arnie or 80s films from whoever. And let's stick to that. Let's just stick to that. But yeah, not many to go, but it can take a while to get through the rest. But we committed to it now. We're committed. And as they would say on Mastermind, I've started, so I'd finish. So it's like that. It's like that. Wham again. Yes, so many movies on for sure, for sure. Oh yeah, Last Action Hero's on the list. So it's Last Action Hero, then True Lies, and True Lies is where it ends. For now, if we ever do Arnie season part 2, then other movies will get picked up. But for now, we go up to True Lies and then see from there. Just got a white screen. Hmm. I ain't know what would have caused that. I don't see anything on my end here. Not to say that it wasn't from my end, I don't know that, but I'm just saying I'm not seeing anything on my end. In fact, I'm just getting an error message popping up now, actually. Flipping hell. Literally getting an error message popping up now, so maybe it's something on my end that caused it. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of health and stuff, I know we kind of got off that topic a while ago, so sorry to bring it back, but just kind of realized something. Um, Ben, like, if you want to, of course, you don't have to do this. And I don't know what type of phone you got, but if you have an Android, you can have, in fact, you probably have it on your phone already, but there's the Google Fit app, which is available on all Android phones, the Google Fit app, and you can download that, and you can use that to like keep track of your steps and kind of your general health. That's what it looks like when you open it up. So that's the, I don't know if you can say it. You probably can't say it like this. Actually, it's a bit too much light. But yeah, that's a good app to check out. You probably got it on your phone already if you have a Google phone or Android phone. If you don't, then you can download it onto Android phones. And I believe if you got Apple, they have a, I don't know what it's called, but I think it's called Apple Health or Apple Fit or something like that. But Apple have a version of that they do as well that you can get for Apple phones. But yeah, it's something. It's a very basic app, a health app. It's not nothing too crazy, and you don't have to buy extra watches or anything like that to work with it. You can just use it as a step counter, and it just keeps track of your like your general daily activity and stuff like that, and gives you a score at the end. So that's something you might want to try if you've got an Android phone or the equivalent for Apple if you've got an Apple phone. Tech issues, I can see you just fine. Email asking for confirmation to see on whose end it was. Yeah, just counts the steps. Yeah, yeah. Ben, you still there? You still having tech issues? Well, I guess if you're, you might not hear me say that, so that's kind of the odd thing to ask. But yeah, little thing on your phone counts the steps, gives you a score at the end of the day. Yeah, I find it pretty cool. You could use it. I like it as well because you can actually connect to other apps with it as well. So like if you got the Nike running app or any of that, it all connects. So if you do anything there, it will let you know, and it all tallies up at the end. So yeah, I like it. I like it. And just let me know that I've achieved my goals for the day. So I've done alright today. I've walked 1,500 and 1,500? No, 15,000, excuse me, 15,835 steps today. That's a lot. That's a lot. Of course, I don't know how accurate that is. Let's keep it real. Like the way it counts steps and how accurate they are is always going to be somewhat debatable. But I mean, I'm sure it's close enough, right? It's close enough. It don't gotta be spot on. It'd be close enough. It'd be close enough. So that's fine. I use something that shows my step counts and counts the calories that I burned. Also, convert that into distance and set a goal. Yeah, yeah, that does that as well. So it's got a step count. Again, you probably can't see it because there's too much light, but if I could get it just about there, maybe it could focus just a tad. Okay, let me try this real quick, actually. This might help a little bit. So yeah, so it counts the calories, gives you a mileage estimate as well. So that mileage is based on the steps you walked, not necessarily that I walked 7 miles in one go or anything, but you know the amount of steps you did would be the equivalent of like 7.11 miles. And it gave me 155 move minutes. Move minutes is where like you've been active for a certain amount of time, and they'll count how many minutes you've been like, well, I guess active in terms of like doing something specific, like running, walking, you know, that kind of stuff, and it would give you movement. It's based on that. But yeah, that's my score for the day. 122 is my hot points, and if 1,000, that's a 15,835 steps. So yeah, I done all right today. I done all right. I done all right indeed. Other things at some point I want to compare that one to mine. Hey, no comparing, dude. No comparing. Remember, gotta do your own thing. But yeah, no, I get that. Um, but yeah, I like this app. It's a pretty cool app. There's others I'm sure that are just as good, but this one literally came with a phone, so I started using it. It's kind of how it started actually. When I was noticing that it was on the phone, and I was like, I don't think I've even checked this out. And was it on the phone? I don't remember if I downloaded it, but anyway, I got it somehow. I was opening it up, and I was like, all right, let me walk a little bit more. Let me start doing it a little bit more. Let me start paying attention to things a bit more. And that's kind of how it started. Well, how the more recent development started, I should say. I like the Fitbit. The only thing I'll say about Fitbit though, in fact, let me get this back on my screen to change the thing again real quick, because so you can see it when I show you. I mean, I don't like that Fitbit. Like, if you could see, that's telling you that I walked 64,590 steps today. I did not walk anywhere near that amount today. Like, I know I did quite a bit of steps, but it was not 64,590. That is completely inaccurate. But here's the thing. If I tap on it, alright, it gives you a bit more of a reasonable step count. 14,678, which is near enough to the same amount as what the Google Fit app counted. About the same, a little bit less, but not far off, right? So that seems to be a bit more of a reasonable step count. But for some reason, and I don't know why, it displays some ridiculous number on the front. So it counts the steps um, pretty accurately, or near enough to accurately, and it counts all the calories and things like that pretty accurately. But for some reason, there's a bug that makes it display some dumb number on the front, and it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes it does show you the correct details, the correct numbers, and that. But a lot of the times, yeah, it will show you some ridiculous number that is completely inaccurate, and then you have to tap into it to see what you actually did, and so it is counting properly, but something's caused it to do this, and it's weird. Haven't fixed it or can't fix it. I don't know what they're doing there, but yeah. And so I want to compare. Yeah. Are you using Apple or Android, Dan? What type of phone you got? Is it an Apple or Android phone? Because if you have an Apple phone, first of all, there. But if you're an Apple phone, they have what is called an Apple Watch Ultimate, which apparently, I don't know this because I've never used it, but apparently, it's supposed to be one of the best fitness watches out there, the Apple Watch Ultimate. But it's really expensive. Those like 800 something pound, 900 pounds, really expensive. But that's an option for Apple users. I don't know if that's an option for me because I ain't trying to spend that much money on a watch. But it's an option for Apple users. Google Fit, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's called Google Fit. What app do you use, Dan? What's the one? What's the one that you use? I might download that too. See if I can run it side by side. Installing it now. Awesome. So I guess that means you have an Android then, and not you got a proper phone. That's good. Good to hear. Not one of them Apple crapples. You got a proper phone. That's good to hear. I'm getting a few dropped frames, by the way, so there may be some buffering or stuttering. Yeah, back tomorrow with TV Tuesdays, watching the X-Files. We're almost through season 3 of the X-Files. Not too far away from the end. We're in the second half of season 3, I know that much. I can't remember what episode it was though. It was like, I think we got to 15 last week, so it was like 16, 17, 18 I think. I think. Yeah, 16, 17, 18 tomorrow, so that's Apocrypha, Pusher, and Teso dos Bichos. I like that name. Teso dos Bichos. Okay, okay. Probably means something completely innocent, I'm sure, but still. Teso dos Bichos. By the way, yes, I was saying with Google Fit, one of the cool things about it is that it can connect to other apps through what's called Health Connect. So Google have a service called Health Connect, and it connects health apps to other apps so they can share information. So, for example, if you have a weight loss app, it can share information with Google Fit. If you have a running app, it can share information with Google Fit. If you have, you know, another exercise app, it can share information with Google Fit. But yeah, if you make sure you have your Health Connect set up as well through Google, and yeah, it can do that. And also you have to go into each app as well and make sure they're connected to Health Connect as well. But yes, that's done easy enough, just to give them permission to connect to Health Connect, and they can start sharing information between stuff, and it shows up on your Google Fit, and you can use that as like a dashboard for all your health apps that, cause it all shares information. So yeah, cool feature. I think it's a cool feature. Tesla those pictures was taken by writer John Shiban from an ancient chant. The words translate from archaic Portuguese to burial mound of small animals. Oh, ashe. Still though, bichos. Dos bichos. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's probably pronounced like B-shows or something like that. B-shows. But then again, it does sound, I don't know. Let me not say that, because I might just come across as racist and ignorant if I say too much. So let me just keep my mouth shut and hopefully be watching that tomorrow. Be watching that tomorrow, that's the plan. Pedometer step counter. Oh, okay, so that's the one you're using right now. Let me look for that. Pedometer step counter. I see it. I think it's the one. Pedometer step counter app. There's also step counter pedometer. So oh, there's two core pedometer step counter actually. A bunch of people using the same names. There's pedometer step counter pedometer. There's like two. Oh, no, step tracker. My bad. So step tracker. So there's two core pedometer step counter, and one core step counter pedometer. I guess it's one of these. The logo is the bottom of shoes. Okay, yeah, I see that one. Alright. Pedometer step counter. ITO Technologies Inc. Contains ads. Health and fitness. Free ads and easy to use pedometer. Great for walking. Alright, let me download this. Ain't nothing wrong with a little something. Might come in handy. Just a chat. Well, you like to sweaty feet too as well, so you just might be lurking. It just might be. I need to grant permissions. So I guess that's the one. Does that look familiar, Dan? Bit blurry, I know, but it should be enough to see what it is. Cool, awesome. I've walked 0 steps today. Liar. That's so good. I just got the damn thing. So put sensitivity to high on mine because it wasn't recording all my steps. Oh, I see. So I might need to adjust some of the settings. I see. I see. gotta enter your details, like how tall you are, your age. I'm going the wrong way. I'm older, not younger. Your sex, your weight. My current weight. Where's my current weight? I forgot. It's 85 now, I think. 85 kilograms, yeah. Step length. Actually, I don't know what my step length is. I should probably measure that, but I don't know what that is. So let me leave that alone for now. Leave that as a default. But cool. Sounds like a dating app. It just might be. You go out for a walk, you might meet somebody. You never know. You never know. You step out for a nice brisk walk, and you just might meet somebody. Also out for a walk and be like, hey, I'm walking, you're walking. How about we walk together? Why not, right? Why not? You never know when love gon' strike. You just never know. You just never know. Exactly. And I will walk 500 more. Exactly. Exactly. The Proclaimers knew what they were talking about. They knew exactly what they were talking about. I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles. Man, that song was popular when it came out, wasn't it? It was mad popular. Benny and June is a quality film, by the way. Benny and June, I don't believe I've seen Benny and June. I don't believe I've seen that. Benny and June. June, J-O-O-N. Benny and June is a 1993 American romantic comedy drama film released by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer about how two eccentric individuals, Sam and Juniper, June, find each other and fall in love. Aidan Quinn also stars, and it was directed by Jeremiah S. Chechik. The rom-com, I do like a good rom-com though, I ain't gonna lie. I know it's not the cool thing to say or whatever, but I do like a good rom-com. Oh, Johnny Depp's in it. And Sam. I do like a good rom-com. But the thing about rom-coms, they do have almost all of them have the exact same kind of structure, where two people meet, they don't get along, hilarious hijinks happen, and then by the end of the movie, they love each other, or something like that. Like that's the basic setup of about every rom-com. Like, but there's something, they meet, they like each other, whatever. There's some reason why they can't be together. Their ego, their parents, their whatever it is. But there's some reason why they can't be together, or they try to be together and it doesn't work. And then stuff happens, funny stuff happens, and then by the end of the movie, it's like they've settled their differences and they get together. Like that's literally every rom-com ever made. Well, certainly a good 90 whatever percent of it anyway. Like they can't be, they want to be together, they can't be together. Hilarious hijinks, they're together in the end. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix, I suppose. But yeah, that is just about every rom-com. But I ain't gonna lie, I do like a good rom-com. I ain't trying to front on that. I like a good rom-com. I've seen a few, maybe not for some time now, I don't think, but I've seen a few in my day, and I do like a good rom-com. Mm. Oh, man. All right. I know it's a little bit earlier than usual, but I think I need to head out. I think I'm gonna need to head out. I'm gonna go put a little bit of food in my belly. I'm gonna let a little bit of juice out my cannon. Then I'm lay my head down and close my eyes. I think that's what I need to do. But yeah, should be back tomorrow for. Oh, the Proclaimers. It's that song. That song's in that film. Okay, okay, that's why you mentioned it. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Well, that's even more reason to watch it then, isn't it? I like a good rom-com every now and again too. Indeed, there's some good ones out there. I know it's not a cool thing to say, or whatever, especially for guys, but still, a good movie's a good movie, and plenty of good movies are rom-coms. So I ain't mind saying it. But yeah, should be back tomorrow for TV Tuesdays, continuing with the X-Files season 3, starting around 8 p.m. at GMT. If you can make it, that would be awesome. If you could come and stay for a little bit or a lot of bits, it'd be much appreciated. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now, guys. Appreciate coming through. Appreciate all that you do. Thank you for keeping company. Thank you for keeping it lively. And until whenever, if ever, peace.